Welcome into Game Night. I am Derek Forrest. We've got another busy show, and of course, we're talking a lot about the Washington Commanders in this show. We're also going to check in on the Baltimore Ravens, but the Commanders are coming off of a preseason victory over the Miami Dolphins last week. That was on Friday. They are now getting set to go to Detroit this weekend for a matchup with the Lions. Kickoff is set for noon in Detroit this weekend. But one of the things we're going to be watching and what we were watching on Friday is how some of these younger guys kind of get used to NFL game action and playing in NFL games. And one of them, of course, being linebacker Sonny Styles, who was the first round pick for the Washington Commanders. On Friday versus the Miami Dolphins, it was a little bit of a 50-50. 50% of the time he looked good. The other 50% of the time he looked like a rookie out there. But that's what you expect to see with these guys, especially in their first action ever out there taking on other NFL players. The adjustment from college to the NFL is a little bit different. So Sonny Styles, he spoke earlier today at practice and just talked about some of the things that he's working on as he looks forward to the game this weekend.
Ball is ball. Like, you're a linebacker, you got to have good footwork, you got to have good hands, get off blocks, get to the ball. I thought in the game, I got to clean up my footwork a little bit and then make sure I'm getting on and off blocks. Obviously linemen are going to put their arms around you, get on you. You got to use your length. And I think as you go through all those chunks of practices, you see yourself starting to play faster, see things a little quicker. Like I said, ball is ball.
All right, so one of the other storylines we are also checking out is the offensive line. Obviously, a little bit of reshuffling for the line right now because we all thought Laremy Tunsil would be the starting left tackle, but he is going to miss some time with an injury. So there's going to be a lot of different guys who are going to have to step up, and everyone's obviously been talking about Josh Connolly Jr., as you can see here in the video, number 72. He's one of those guys who a couple of years ago played the left tackle position before Laremy Tunsil was on the team and helped get this team to the NFC championship game. So he for sure has the reps. He also filled in for Laremy Tunsil late at the end of the year when Tunsil got hurt. But now it's the beginning of the year where Tunsil's hurt. And Connolly today talked about the loss of Laremy Tunsil.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, obviously, we spent about 3 months together in this offseason working together. So, I mean, it really sucks to just see all his work kind of just go out the window. And someone that cares so much about this game and his career and everybody around him, it definitely sucked. But, BC's gonna step in and he's gonna do what he needs to do, and LT will get right. So.
Yeah, and hopefully the offensive line will be a little bit better going into this season with their situation because a lot of the guys on the line have a lot more experience. The loss of Tyler Biadasz certainly is going to hurt at center, but they still have full faith in Nick Allegretti in terms of what he will be able to do in that center position. So it's going to take a lot of guys on the offensive line to step up to fill those shoes that Laremy Tunsil is leaving behind early on in the season with an injury. But at least it's happened this early in training camp. They can get situated. If they need to bring in another offensive lineman, the Commanders front office will certainly do that. Now, when we were talking about youngsters and guys like Sonny Styles, there's a youngster on the offensive side of the ball in Antonio Williams who's looking to really turn some heads during training camp and the preseason. A lot of guys were expecting Antonio Williams to potentially be the number 2, depending on what they did at receiver. And of course, getting Stephon Diggs changes things a little bit, and probably takes some pressure off of Antonio Williams for sure in that role. But earlier today, our Jake Fromm caught up with Antonio Williams as he prepares for his rookie season in the NFL.
Antonio, fresh off your first preseason game, going into preseason game 2, just where's your confidence level as a rookie on this team?
Man, my confidence level is always high, but it's growing every day. Just building chemistry with the guys and just seeing all these NFL pro players firsthand. I feel like I belong here.
I mean, Terry was your teammate right away, but now you get a guy like Stephon Diggs, another veteran guy in that room. We've asked a couple of the wide receivers this question, but how has that wide receiver room grown over camp with the addition of Diggs and, of course, your relationship with Terry and some of the veteran guys in there?
Yeah, I think Diggs brings a kind of feistiness, eagerness, hunger to the room that is well needed to get guys going when we're a little low. He's another good voice in the room, and every guy in there is Terry, man. Just been a stand-up guy since I met him. So, you know, it's just good growing with all those guys.
From the college level to now, have you been asked to do more as a wide receiver, whether it's change positions, go inside, outside, play wherever? And how have you kind of adapted to, you know, the NFL style of things so far in your, you know, early rookie career?
I think doing more in terms of learning the playbook and recognizing coverage and switching plays in the huddle or once we get lined up is really where you're asked to do the most change once you get to the league. But I mean, at the end of the day, football is football, man. I've been playing it since I was in Pee Wee, so just it's still the same game.
David Blau offense, it's the first year for everybody, but of course you as well. How has that kind of come along with this offense, with the guys that have been here, and of course yourself, you know, your first year with the offense and in the league?
It's my first year in the NFL offense, like you said, but the difference is big, and the change from college to NFL, it's a lot more that goes into it. But you know, as far as I can tell, we got the best OC in the country or in the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does when we really get into the regular season. I
know you've been asked this a lot, whether it was rookie minicamp, OTAs, minicamp, now here in training camp. How's the relationship with Jaden kind of grown over those times?
Man, just coming in every day and getting a walk through in the mornings, and then during practice, and just always trying to be there and be on the same page as him. I think that's the biggest thing as a receiver. You want to earn the trust from your quarterback, and that takes time. It takes a lot of reps. But you know, as we just continue to go throughout practice, it's only up from here.
2 more preseason games left, and then you get to the regular season. Just what do you want to build on for what you've already kind of accomplished in one preseason, and of course training camp coming to a close soon in the next week or so?
Yeah, I want to, you know, get into a preseason game and take advantage of it. You know, I don't know how many reps or whoever else, but I'm just focused on myself. So just, you know, making a name for myself and introducing myself to the fans in a good way.
It's a tight-knit wide receiver group, so much depth, so much veteran presence, so much guys that can make a team. Knowing that that's coming along the corner, how do you guys not focus on that part of things and just go out there and just kind of do what you guys can do as a room?
I think one thing we've talked about is just being unselfish. You know, there's only one ball to go around. So as long as everybody's doing their job and we get a win at the end of the day, you got to be happy with that, because that's the most important thing.
All right, want to switch gears and talk a little Baltimore Ravens, because they are out in Minnesota this weekend as they are taking on the Vikings, and today they held a joint practice with the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens obviously coming off of a preseason victory this past weekend over at M&T Bank Stadium as they beat the Philadelphia Eagles by the score of 24-7. But this one's going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock as they take on Minnesota. And we've seen the benefits of joint practice here with the Washington Commanders, where it gives these teams an opportunity to really work on the things that they want to get done during the preseason, because they wouldn't necessarily be put in those situations during a preseason game. Here's Jesse Minter, the head coach of the Ravens, and a couple of other players talking about what they've been getting out of the joint practice today.
The evaluations are evaluations. I think any chance that guys go out there to play and to put their, you know, like the film is their resume, whether it's in practice or games. I think these are really important for, you know, the guys. Not that we're not evaluating them, but some of the guys that we kind of know where their roles are, know what their standing is. I think the joint practices are probably most important for them to get that type of work, especially because of the decision not to play them in the preseason. And then the other guys, you know, they may or may not get quite as many reps, but then they gotta be ready to play. And then Saturday becomes, again, their second major evaluation. So I think it's a little bit different based on kind of where you're at.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to check in on Darrell Green, obviously returning to the Washington Commanders and helping out that squad over the last couple of years. We're going to catch up with him coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. Now, Daryl Green has returned to the Washington Commanders franchise. It was a couple of years that a lot of the alum had been missing from practices, the stadium, inside the building, all of that stuff. But that was during the Dan Snyder era. Ever since Josh Harris and company have now gotten here, a lot of these guys have returned. John Riggins returning this season as well. Our Alex Flum caught up with Daryl Green as he's been getting some work in with the players and, of course, talking to him about coming back to the organization.
Daryl, obviously getting all this love from the Washington fans. You know, after all these years, what does this mean to you, just being out here at training camp?
Oh, wow, that's an interesting question. It means everything to me. This is our community. These kids here are from DCHA that we bring every year. It's called the Daryl Green Foundation and DCHA and Commanders Camp for our kids. But I mean, the fans, the whole experience out here is just 10,000 miles higher than it's ever been, even in my era. I just think that what they're doing is so special. And the people appreciate it, and I love that. And this is a different vantage point than inside the ropes, but I love it from this vantage point too. So I'm really happy about what I see. The people are happy. Of course, there's high expectation. We are a winning team. We feel like we have a history of winning. We have a history of high integrity. We've got that, I believe, highly restored from our highest leadership all the way down to the lowest. And so that's the part that makes me excited about it. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be hosting these kids out here. And these guys that have come out here, we got to kick it with Diggs, our kids. It's just all of the guys that have come through they're the type of guys that you want to build with. Bill came through, I was just telling Tim that, Bill is the type of guy that you want to do well. He's just a solid young man. And I could say that about just over and over and over the guys that are on this team. And then, of course, we got the win.
And speaking of winning, how are you feeling about this year, how this team's looking?
Well, we're in our preseason. We don't see what the coaches see and what they are looking at internally, so nobody can really predict. You can talk all day, but you don't really know what they know because you have to be inside. What are they trying to accomplish? What is the practice? What are they trying to accomplish today? You don't know that. You just get to watch it and experience it. But, you have to believe that our coaching staff is a winning coaching staff historically. Google them, you know what I'm saying? As I tell people, Google me, So it's our confidence is in the leadership, and then the leadership down to the players, and then of course as fans we do our part, and then we see what happens.
And then I'm just curious. I don't know if you heard Alex Ovechkin's coming back for another year. You were kind of the face of DC sports for 2 decades. Nobody had ever done that. He's the only one ever now besides you to be able to do it for so long. Have you guys ever talked? Have you guys followed his career at all? And what do you think about him actually passing you for the longest tenured DC athlete ever? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, hey, he's balling out. He is that dude. He is that dude. I'm not in competition with him, but I certainly have sat with him. I respect him. I respect that team and everything individually that he has done. But no, I'm not in competition with that. That wasn't even the whole plan. The plan is just try to do the best you can do when you're doing what you do. So, no, congratulations to him. He doesn't take me higher or take me down and vice versa. So, no, it's just all about him. It's not about me.
Last one. I put you and him on the Mount Rushmore, okay? Who are the other two you put on the Mount Rushmore of DC sports athletes of all time?
Oh, my God. You got you go back to the Phil Chenier in the Bullets. And Wes Unseld, you got John Thompson, the coach at Georgetown. You got Sugar Ray Leonard. You got a gazillion people, men and women, that could be on Mount Rushmore. But to just throw that at me now, I don't really know.
You don't have to answer.
I'd have to think about that. But just for me,
put Daryl Green 4 times.
Right?
Yeah.
It'd be great. I've never been. I don't think I've been considered for something like that, but that'll be really cool.
Oh, you're on there. I'll tell you that much.
Because one thing I will say about Daryl Green, I love Washington, D.C. in the metro area. My wife is from here. I spent my whole adult life here. Whether you put me on a wall or not, it doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm your son, and you're my family, and that's all that matters to me.
All right. Yeah, there are a lot of great athletes here in the DC area. A Mountain Rushmore is hard to do when you think of all the great athletes over the course of time. All right. Coming up on the show, we're going to catch up with Danny Rouhier. We're going to get his thoughts on the Washington Commanders so far during training camp in the preseason. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. Earlier today, I caught up with Danny Rouhier from 106.7 The Fan in Granton. Danny, of course, and got his thoughts on the Washington Commanders, especially at this point in training camp, but even better coming off of the game that they won versus the Miami Dolphins on Friday.
So the start to the game, which is the best eval, best judge you can make, was not good. There's kind of no way around that. Now, I understand that Miami played their starters, but Miami might pick first in this coming draft. It was against a bunch of guys that are going to play and going to contribute for Washington, and they got dog walked down the field, and it wasn't particularly impressive. It was kind of alarming a little bit when you look at Johnny Newton, who I know is now banged up, and the prognosis doesn't look great there. But it's contributors. It's the Leo Chanels, the Sonny Styles of the world. I'm not saying it's those guys' fault specifically. Someone that's great at breaking down film could probably do that, but these starters getting pushed around and marched on was not great. Offensively, it was a bit of a scuffle against Miami's ones. And there were some linemen, again, that are going to play for Washington. I understand they weren't without their top skill guys. I get that. But still, that was not encouraging. After that, when it was 2s on 2s, 3s on 3s, 5s and 6s on those, Washington handled their business, again, against an organization that wasn't very good. So I think this weekend might be more of a test. But, the initial turn-in, the initial review there wasn't that encouraging. You'd like them to be more on an equal playing field with a team that doesn't look to be particularly good.
I want to ask you about that because I've heard that for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, etc., about Miami on paper not being very good. But the Commanders also last year wasn't very good. So how can you make that distinction without the season really starting and knowing?
How do you mean?
That the Commanders are better than the Dolphins because they're not very good.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, that's the hope. Is that if that's the pool you're in, that's alarming. That's really bad for everybody involved. So I'm hoping that it's better than that. If they are in the same tier as Miami, that's everyone gets fired. I mean, really, you can't be that bad. Miami's in a different place than Washington. This is year 3 of Jaden Daniels, Adam Peters, Dan Quinn production. And if they are, feeding out of the same trough as the Miami Dolphins, who this year are, having moved on from a quarterback, a previous regime, et cetera, and they're starting anew. If you start your rebuild, you're in the same place as Miami, as Washington. That is alarming. That's terrible. That's awful. So yeah, you're judging it based on that. And again, if Miami somehow goes 14-3, I'll eat my words, but I don't think there's a design there for them to be particularly good this season.
Yeah, and I'll say that by saying, well, I obviously know the Commanders had to deal with a plethora of injuries last year, and that kind of leads me to my next topic. There's been this back and forth where guys are returning from injury, guys are leaving with injuries. Now we hear about the Johnny Newton thing. Looks like he's going to be out for a while. He's been dealing with injuries before he's even gotten onto the roster. So how are you feeling about where the Commanders currently sit on the injury front?
Yeah, this is always such a delicate push-pull. I mean, this is hard. I mean, you have to do enough preparation to make sure that you're ready to hit the ground running. They have not. Even in their great season 2 years ago, they were not really the same team as they would turn into for the first few weeks of the season. You cannot afford to do that with this buzzsaw of a start, 2 divisional games, and the defending champs right there before you go to London against a pretty decent Colts team. So, yeah, it's the trend line in the NFL is to kind of do less in the preseason, et cetera. And I've always argued that the training camps and preseason things are vestiges of a time that's long since passed, where guys used to have to play themselves into shape and you needed the 2-a-days to work off the beer and the wings and the cigarettes and kind of the off-season of laziness. Now these guys are finally tuned athletes that keep themselves in pretty excellent shape all year round. And it's now just kind of a matter of getting in football shape, fine-tuning, dealing with a little bit of contact. But the trend line is to work these guys less. I understand that. I'm not crazy. I look around at what the rest of the league is doing. But my point is, what they've done here the last 2 years under Dan Quinn has not translated into effective starts. It's translated, frankly, into lackluster starts. And last year, the vibe to me, as an outsider looking in, was we've arrived. We're great. We'll just, throw 11 jerseys out on the field and end up in the NFC Championship game again. And they got that really rude awakening. That was one of the worst seasons I can remember. Very, very disappointing. So if it's me, and I'm not qualified to do anything other than maybe talk to you, if it's me, I have to do the opposite. I have to have a burning fire right underneath my butt to make sure that what just happened does not happen again. And I need to re-examine really, really closely and have great justifications for doing anything in the manner in which I did it the previous year, because it was such a disaster. And I think they've ramped up the intensity some, not as much as I maybe would like. I mean, as evidenced by the fact they played a preseason game on Friday where most of the starters did not play, did nothing Saturday relatively, did nothing Sunday relatively, did nothing Monday relatively. And then Tuesday, they had just a practice in shells where they did some special team stuff over the course of 90 minutes. Not exactly a gauntlet of intensity. I understand you got to keep guys fresh, but you also have to get ready to play. And I don't know that they are. The other side of that is, as you said, some players are banged up, and that's kind of inevitable for it to happen. It's why the NFL designed the schedule the way they did, where your last preseason action is a few weeks before you actually end up playing a regular season game. It's at the expense of maybe some sloppiness to start the year for everybody involved, but it's in an effort to try to keep guys healthy.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to check back in on Commanders training camp. Today was the last day that fans could attend practice. We're going to check in on the atmosphere and the vibe over there. Coming up next on Game Night. All right, welcome back into Game Night. That's going to do it for this edition of Game Night. But don't forget, this weekend we've got the Washington Commanders taking on the Detroit Lions at noon out in Detroit. And, of course, the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to be in Minnesota taking on the Vikings. That one is a 1 p.m. tip-off. But that's going to do it for this edition of Game Night. Have a good night.